Hey guys, thanks for tuning us in for this 5th episode of Good Questions with Cameron Dole Season 2. Special guests for this episode include Brad Rutter. You might remember him as the greatest of all time Jeopardy contestant. He also stars in ABC's remake of the UK quiz show, The Chase. We'll also visit with author and life coach Mike Bayer. We'll be talking about his new book, One Decision, First Step to a Better Life. Of course, if you would, please take time to subscribe, drop a like, comment, leave some feedback, and of course, share with your friends. Our first guest, you remember him, like I said before, the greatest of all time Jeopardy contestant, Brad Rutter. He stars on ABC's remake of the UK quiz show, The Chase, which airs Thursday nights, 9 Eastern, 8 local time on ABC. First off, Brad, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show.
My pleasure, Cameron. Nice to be here.
Now, Brad, how much pride do you take to be able to say the G.O.A.T, and you don't even have to be fudging to say that?
Well, quite a bit, actually. That's always nice to be the best at something or the greatest or however you want to characterize it.
And for that, how surprised are you the way that trivias and game shows have had these huge winnings and have allowed you, obviously, opportunity as working on the new quiz show, The Chase?
You know, it's funny. I think game shows kind of go in waves, and there's, peaks and valleys of popularity. When I was a kid in the 80s was a huge time with, Press Your Luck and, Supermarket Sweep and, High Rollers. I remember Alex Trebek hosting that, actually. So I remember all that stuff being home in the day as a kid. And now it seems like it's taken over primetime, which is great. So, yeah, I mean, I've always been a game show fan, but it's really cool that we seem to be in a cycle now where game shows are really popular again.
Now, tell the folks, if they didn't tune in to the Chase, a little bit about the American remake, if you will.
So it's basically we get a team of 3 trivia players, who are good, the kind that would probably win the gift card at their local pub quiz a lot. And they team up to see if they could take down one of the Jeopardy GOATs, either me, Ken Jennings, or James Holzhauer. We rotate every show. And for potentially 6 figures, so it's a lot of money, and the stakes are high. It's really fast paced too. That's what's cool about it. Is you think primetime network trivia show, you're thinking Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with the slow pace and the dramatic tension built up and all that stuff. But we're throwing probably over 100 questions at the contestants and the chasers and the home audience every night. So it's a little more like Jeopardy in that regard, where it's fast-paced, questions coming at you.
Now, Brad, for you, how do you keep yourself sharp? What is your is it reading? Is it just is it online browsing? How is it that you keep yourself so sharp?
I do read a lot. I like to watch a lot of documentaries too. I was a big History Channel fan when there was actual history on it, but there is other places to find that stuff now. I go down the YouTube rabbit hole on documentaries a lot. I think my brain is just wired that way, where I'll remember things, and then I have a lot of varied interests, and it seems like anytime I come across an interesting fact, it'll sort of stick in my head, and then I can recall that later on, which, like I said, I think you have to kind of be wired that way. But, just having a lot of interests and being interested in knowing things and, picking up new stuff all the time, that's really how I stay sharp.
Now, bringing The Chase now to ABC, obviously in the midst of the pandemic, all the challenges, Brad, how much extra challenge did it make it introducing the new show to the Americans, if you will?
It actually wasn't that different from probably what we would have done in regular times. The biggest difference was no audience, which is that was too bad, because I think it would have been really fun to have the live audience reacting to stuff. There are some big dramatic moments in the Chase too. But that was really it, and just everybody all masked up, and except when the cameras were rolling, and I think they probably would have had the contestants. The contestants team shares a little podium, and they were 6 feet apart. I think they probably would have been a little closer if it weren't for the pandemic. But it was pretty par for the course in shooting it. It wasn't a huge hassle.
During 2020 and pandemic and all that, what, Brad, did you put your focus on? What did you learn something new? I mean, it seems like Zoom and televideo and all that stuff. Was that for you as well?
Sort of, yeah. I ended up actually playing a lot more pub quiz than I do, just because there's some really good ones around the country, which I could, if I wasn't in town, I could do. My biggest thing though was I figured, at the beginning of all this, everybody's going to gain the quarantine 15. So if I don't actively try to lose 10 pounds, I'm probably going to gain 15. So that was my big quarantine project, and it was successful, fortunately.
New episodes of The Chase, you can find those on ABC. And of course, Brad, I want to make sure and let our listeners know where to keep up with everything social media-wise you got going on as well.
Yeah, I'm at Brad Rutter on Twitter. I just started an Instagram account, exciting. That's Brad Rutter Official. And then you can follow The Chase at The Chase ABC across all social media platforms. And it's Thursdays, 9/8 Central.
Thursdays, 9/8 Central. Brad, no outlook on TikTok anytime soon?
Yeah, I'm probably about 20 years too old for that, but stranger things have happened.
That's good stuff. Well, Brad, thank you again for your time this morning, and hopefully you have a great rest of your week, my friend.
Thanks. Nice talking to you.
Up next, we talk to life coach Mike Bayer. You might remember him from Dr. Phil. He's got a brand new book called One Decision, The First Step to a Better Life. First off, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Now, 2020 being what it was, I mean, obviously you can make all the excuses in the world, can't you, Coach? But you still got to put one foot in front of the other, and if you want to see changes, I think this book is a great way to get that started, don't you think?
Well, it works if you work it, so either way, either you work it or you avoid it,
Now, Coach, where was it first idea of you being life coaching? Where did the experience or maybe the want to in your life become?
Well, I've been in mental health for over 18 years. I own a treatment center for the past 15 years for mental health and addiction. And it's almost like the coaching. I was a counselor and an interventionist, and it's almost like the coaching found me. I didn't seek it out. It just kind of was an evolution in my career, and I think through working with so many different types of people, that's also what attracted Dr. Phil to having me. I've probably done like maybe 40 episodes in the last few years. And they called me Coach Mike, and I'm actually, after this call, heading down to work with someone today on Dr. Phil. And the cool thing about being a coach is it's about action. Psychology or psychotherapy is very much about like exploring what is. Where coaching is what do you do now? So that's what I'm into. What do we do now?
and the book One Decision. Tell us, tell our listeners if they haven't seen. Obviously, we've touched on the backstory a little bit, but about the emphasis in the new book, if you will.
Sure. So my last book was Best Self. That's what it was called, Best Self, Be Only Better. And this time, what I really focused down on is everything in life comes down to one decision. Everything. And we make over 30,000 decisions a day. And what the heck matters, what the heck doesn't, what is important, what's not, what are critical decisions, what aren't. And really when we all kind of, simplify it, if we want to improve our life, it comes down to one decision. And the book is geared towards helping someone make one decision towards what they want more of or less of in their life. And I write in the style of being their coach. So you underline, you highlight. Like I said, it's a book for people who want to take action. And, we all need help. We all need help. We all have blind spots. We all have mentors. We all have coaches, including myself. And so I wanted to create something that would help someone live more of the life they want. And I write in the style that's helping someone be authentic to who they are. I don't try to change people. It's just really helping someone clarify what they want.
And for you to see the life changes that have been made as a result of your coaching, I mean, is that what keeps you going on the day-to-day, even in the midst of all the turmoil we're facing?
Yeah, I think pushing ourselves. This is it. Like this life, unless I come back as a elephant or a tree, I mean, this is all we have. So I do it like I selfishly want to be great and be a better and better, have more impact in terms of helping someone not take their own life or help someone believe in themselves. And that's just what lights me up. Like that's what for the last 18 years I love doing. And people will say to me, "Oh my God, isn't that exhausting?" But I get energy from it.
As a result of 2020, has there been a spike in the mental health issues, or it maybe has just all of the frustration kind of brought it to the forefront a little bit more?
Yeah, there's definitely been a spike. And interestingly, if you look in the media, they'll talk about why telehealth is so great and important. The reality is the results are terrible. Like, because I run a treatment center. The people, we have online treatment and then we have in-person treatment. The people who are strictly online, who live in Los Angeles, where I'm located, are twice as likely to relapse as the people that come in person. And the people that just do online versus show up in person are twice as likely not to complete the program. And so there's this illusion out there that somehow, oh my God, I get to be in the comfort of my own home. The benefit for that is the working mom with kids, the person that really is so busy. But that lack of connection to other people is where people suffer. And a lot of people don't already, when you're struggling, you already don't really have a community that you love, and so I'm putting that out there because I think sometimes if these huge telehealth companies would make it seem like, you should be able to be home and be so happy, and they're hugely funded, but the research that we have just doesn't state that. So I think if someone's feeling a little bit of alone, it's really about how do you recreate some form of community in your life, because community is where we thrive.
You talk about being alone, and this, I think this is the fourth time that I'm actually being quarantined, and each time it seems like it gets more difficult to get reacclimated. And is there a process for that, Coach?
Yeah, it's called do authentically a structure that is best for you. So when life changes, we have to change. Like, we can't just do the same thing we did yesterday. If quarantine happens today, and we know that when quarantine hits or when we're isolated, sometimes we have to double down. I find it's exceptionally, it's very helpful. First thing in the morning, get out a pen and paper and write down what you want to accomplish today. It seems so basic that it's frustrating that it's so basic. But literally write down, and on that list, include anything that is going to help you have a great day. For some people, it may be writing down, I'm going to agree to go for a walk today, or I'm going to agree to do a 10-minute meditation, or I'm going to agree to call someone and ask them how they're doing. But the structure of life, structure is so helpful for people. And when the structure changes, you have to kind of recreate the structure that works for you.
All right. Well, that's an idea. I will try that tomorrow morning. There we go.
It works. It seems so simple, but it works.
That's right. And the new book, again, One Decision, First Step to a Better Life. Coach, I want to make sure and let folks know where to find more information about the book and all the socials as well.
Yeah, so my social is Coach Mike Bayer, like the aspirin. That's how my last name's spelled. And it's available everywhere, Walmart, Target, Amazon, anywhere books are sold. And then if they go to my website, CoachMikeBayer.com, I offer a ton of free stuff. There's no upselling if someone wants to be plugged in and see what we're up to.
Well, Coach, again, thank you for your time. I hope the new year has started off well and continued success to you, my friend.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks again for joining us for this episode of Good Questions with Cameron Dole. If you ever have a comment, question, or anything else you'd like to know, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at GQ with Cam. If you'd like to help out in the funding for this podcast, feel free to click the support tab and follow the instructions. If you have a special guest idea, you can email me, gqwithcam@gmail.com. Again, thanks to our good friend Brandon Allen for coming up with the theme music for Good Questions with Cameron Dole. We're going to let him play us out, and we'll be back with episode 6 of season 2 coming up tomorrow.